Go like that. Listen, this is your professionals and animal lovers show, and I am your nonprofit sector connector, and that is my favorite advocate when it comes to animal advocacy, Valerie Efron. Before I even say who we are, what we do, the show is P.A.L's Professionals and Animal Lovers Show. How are you, my pal, Val?
I'm pretty pawsome.
Oh no, she did it already. Wordplay in the first 30 seconds. What is this show? Well, this show was an idea. It was a figment of someone's imagination that is now in real life. We are here. We want to amplify the message that we believe the bond between animal lovers is incredibly strong. We want to support one another in business by continuing to build and nurture this compassionate network so that everyone wins.
Especially the animals.
So look, how do we achieve this? We achieve this through this bi-weekly show. It was a weekly show. It'll be weekly again. I feel it already. But this bi-weekly show to spotlight professionals who are animal lovers and nonprofits that focus on protecting, sheltering, and advocating for animals. We do, Val, we do three things on this show. You know what they are?
I do, Tommy DeMisa, I do. We learn, we educate, and we advocate.
Yes, in that order, maybe, but definitely the advocating certainly would be second or third piece there, because, you know, I mean, you can go out and advocate when you don't know what you're doing, but it's better if you learn and you get some education. And the thing about this show for me certainly is that I've been educated in so many different ways in doing this show. How's my life been affected? Well, I was just walking a dog that I would not have known I wouldn't have Cheeto. Cheeto would not be part of my life if it wasn't for the Professionals and Animal Lovers show. We rescued Cheeto. He is a big member. Well, he's not a big member. He's like 13.4 pounds, but he is a big part of our family, because when you got 4 kids, you definitely need to have a dog on top of it, because that's just Valerie only persuaded me for 2 years before the dog happened, but the dog is here. Shout out to Cheeto. If you want to learn more about Cheeto, check him out on Instagram, My Guy Cheeto. That My Guy Cheeto, CHEETO. Val, this is exciting because you know what? I think in terms of how things happen and about evolution, and this show, as I just talked about, has really helped us evolve in a lot of ways. And I want to just, before we even introduce our guest, I want to just say, you know, Val, maybe you don't meet our guest, Basel Nassar, if it's not for your new business. Valerie, do you and Hef have a new business? Maybe we should share with the people so they know about it.
Thank you. I'm so bad at self-promoting, as everyone knows, but to your point, this show changed our lives. I mean, 2 years ago, I was not feeding my dog raw. 2 years ago, I had never spoken to a clinical pet nutritionist who recommends raw and has her own raw food store in Rhode Island. That's Jonna Devereaux. And because of this podcast, we brought on Rob Tucker, owner of the Canine Shop in New York. And fast forward, in less than 2 years now, we have a franchise location in Greenville, South Carolina, and we are carrying Boss Dog and Boss Cat products. This show has really been quite the catalyst.
I like catalyst. That's awesome. It's one of my favorite words, in fact. It's like catalyst, strategic alliances, and Tommy D. It's like a 3-way tie. Those are like my
I'm so glad.
Shocker, right? So listen, if you don't know, this is the address, and I learned what EXT stands for a couple times. So the address is 1320 Hampton Avenue extension. That's the extension of Hampton Avenue, apparently. Suite 10B, Greenville, South Carolina, 29601. All right. So without further ado, if you are in that area, you should definitely check out what they got. And one of the products that they have in store, I believe, is Boss Nation. So I want to ask, if I say your name wrong, correct me. Is it Basel or Basel? How do I say it correctly, sir?
Basel, and I answer to either.
Basel Vasily Nassar. How did I do on the last name too?
You did a great job. Good job, Tom. Appreciate it.
Sir. All right.
You're
So
a linguist by nature.
yes. I'm a man of many talents. We can't go into all of it today because we only have an hour. It's a long list of things I'm great at. I'll tell you all about it. let's jump in. Val, do you want to introduce Basel and say how you connected? And then we'll have him tell the story and about these very exciting products that are on the shelves of stores right now.
Sure. And so, okay, first of all, I just want to really underscore the following. The Canine Shop and all of their locations, they highly scrutinize every single product that's going to be coming into their stores. And they have the highest level of standards because that's what we're all about, providing the best nutrition for people's pets. So the fact that Boss Dog and Boss Cat products are in the stores is a true compliment and testimonial to the quality of their products. So this is the first time I'm meeting or speaking with Basel. However, one of his associates from Whisker Media, Mary Tan, this is one of her clients, and she's doing a great job because she's out there getting his message out, and he's been very successful. But I really want him to tell us the story because from what I read, he started this company in 2018, and during the pandemic, he was just growing and growing and growing. And I really want to get into like how this came about. How did you identify the need for these products? Of course, what your products are and what's in the pipeline.
All right. So Basel, will you do that first? The name of the company is Boss Nation. The website is Boss Nation Brands, brands.com. Basel, you got a great background going on. Let's talk about branding, talk about promotion. Our friend JB from a couple of weeks ago would love what you're doing with that. But introduce yourself, please. We have millions of questions, but really, I don't think we'll get to all millions of them today, but we'll do our best to get to the important ones. Take it away, sir. Tell us about your background and your business.
Valerie, Tommy, pleasure to meet you both in person. And thanks for the shout out to Mary Tan at Whisker Media. You're correct. She does a wonderful job for animals in general.
Yeah.
She's a great advocate. So we really love to be working with her. All right. Well, here is how it goes. You know, I'm a 30-year serial entrepreneur with great admiration for putting amazing products to market. When I say amazing, I mean things that are innovative and actually work or provide benefit. Much like yourself, I was inspired by my pet. You know, I won't get into the deep circumstances, but for over 20 years, I really wasn't permitted to have a dog. And so when the opportunity presented itself, it started a whole variety of different things. One, it gave me the inspiration to launch the pet food line because I wanted to address Kelby's, the original Boss Dog, digestive issues. And I had just come out of a 20-year venture and career in building Greek yogurt for the human market. So I felt like we'd learned a lot. And I wanted to take that digestive health knowledge and translate it into the pet world, which at the time I felt was lacking. You mentioned that we launched the business in 2018. You know, had I had a crystal ball, would I have done it? The answer is always yes. And the reason is as follows. I was more than encouraged when I started looking at pet households during the pandemic. You know, it was one of the positive things that I think came out of it. People were looking at adopting pets, you know, helping with the rescue overflow and overload. And so for us, we really encouraged the phenomenon. So, you know, when you mentioned I did nothing but innovate and build, that was very true because, you know, quite frankly, Valerie, there's nothing else for me to do during those 2 years. You know, so we innovated, we solidified the message of digestive health and how we were infusing probiotics in our concept. And then, you know, had the pleasure of innovating multiple segments so that when the market opened up again, we could really be relevant and go at it. But that's just kind of a quick overview on what we do here. We're 2 brand pillars now. So Boss Nation consists of Boss Dog and Boss Cat. And, you know, don't be surprised if you see a Boss something else in the future. Yeah, there's always a possibility, but that's kind of a general background.
Can we take a guess? Can we guess what the next boss might be? I mean, you don't have to say yes or no, but
if you follow me on Instagram, where I'm Boss Dog Dad, look at one of the pictures over the course of the last 2 weeks. That might give you an indication of what animal kingdom we're getting into.
I hope it's Komodo dragons, but I don't think it
there is a future for Boss Reptile.
Boss Dog Dad.
Wow.
Boss Dog Dad.
There's a slash. There's a slash. There's 3 things there. I says Boss Dog, Boss Cat, Boss Bird.
There you go.
There it is.
It hasn't yet, this is actually, it has not yet been mentioned either in writing or verbally anywhere.
Breaking news. Where's the
Breaking news right here.
music?
Oh my God, I see this bird. It's yellow. I don't know. Is that a parrot? I don't know if I can share too many.
No, it's a golden conure. You know, my wife and I fell in love with it about 6 months ago. They're very rare. And it's perfect for a family that has many pets. You walk in we call it Boss Ranch. We've got 4 dogs, 2 cats, 150-pound tortoise, and now Maxie the conure is coming home. So, you know, we need animals that can all get along.
And your Instagram too, like wow, it's like changes colors. And stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the bird starts.
Wow.
It's like comment. I got to play with whatever that is, man. That's
cool.
fun. So check out Boss Dog Dad on the IG. Everybody, just how it's.
Yeah.
You can follow us more and get more content at Boss Dog Brand or Boss Cat Brand. This is more my personal page where I like to showcase what we're doing at the ranch and what I'm doing with the family.
I love it.
It's all pet related.
I have to jump in and ask some questions because a lot of people excitedly, we had 2 different sets of cat parents in the store, you know, yesterday, and a lot of people feel that in general the cat, I guess, market is somewhat neglected. So they were really excited to see cat products. Can you talk a little bit about what goes into those specific cat products for a second?
Absolutely, Valerie. You know, we initially launched with Greek style frozen yogurt treats, and I had positioned it for dogs, but after research, we figured we could sell it to dogs and cats. So you'll see the latest version of our Greek froyo is for either dogs or cats. But I'll tell you, getting into treats and supplements are one thing. Okay. I'm not saying they're easy to innovate, but you can create real quality creative treats without a lot of let's call it industry related hurdles. Meal systems, on the other hand, take a little bit more research. And you know, after we launched Boss Dog Brand frozen and freeze dried meals, we felt that, you know, the other pillar couldn't be ignored or couldn't be sustained just with treat and supplements alone. So it took almost a year to formulate cat meals. It was about twice as long as it for dogs, and there was a lot of different reasons. Cats are finicky. Number one.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
They're the
You
worst.
got to get them to eat it.
Not only that, Basil, I just want to jump in really quick, but like,
Yeah.
this is just my cats, right? I'm sure other people can relate, but one day they will like a specific food and
Correct.
protein,
Correct.
and then the next day they walk away from it. Like, no, like they're weird.
We encourage alternating the protein, especially with cats. So that's why we actually have a 3rd protein coming out here shortly. You'll see Boss Cat in turkey, chicken, and then pork.
Yay.
So I'll give you the insight on formulation without giving away all the secrets.
Okay.
There was a very popular fresh frozen cat brand in the industry. Unfortunately, they're no longer around, but I think they did an excellent job of educating consumers as to the benefits of raw, fresh, frozen cat food, right? Unfortunately, nobody's replaced the sales within that segment. And I think a lot of people have tried. So I looked really carefully at what they were doing, and then I wanted to add my own value. So I'll start with what I really think is different. One, the palatant. It has to be exceptional. You have to use a palatant that's not only organic and wholesome, but that the cat will eat. Because like I said before, if they don't eat it, nothing happens.
I got to stop you because you're above my skis already.
Yeah.
So that might be for other people too. I don't know what palatant is. So can you break that down?
Yeah, absolutely. Just the thing that helps promote wanting to eat something. Okay. The other piece is calcium. Generally for cat food has come in the form of the bone, either on the neck, whether it's a turkey neck or a chicken neck. One of the problems is you'll get crystallization typically in larger adult male cats where it'll affect urinary tract. So we substituted almost 90% of the calcium from bone with calcium from eggshell.
Wow.
Okay. Introducing kelp. Meat first is consistent in everything I do. So if I say pork or lamb, that's the first ingredient. No chicken meal, no substitute, no carrier. And then lastly, I think what really sets us apart, is the infusion of probiotics. And it's not a simple task, okay? To infuse 500 million probiotics per cup that's sustainable and survivable after high pressure pasteurization or freeze drying is very hard to do, okay? We've created a way to encapsulate in cooperation with our vendor, encapsulate our probiotic spore, introduce it during the processing phase and get very close to 100% survivability on the shelf. So where some companies may say we have probiotics, it's one thing to add one sachet and another thing to add sustainable levels that can survive the shelf life that will make a difference in your pet. And that's what we do here at Boss Dog and Boss Cat.
So I gotta come in here real quick because we hear a lot about the importance of probiotics on the human level and gut health and how critically important our gut is. And if you don't have the right gut health and the right microbiome, then we got a lot of problems, right? And so I just to be silly here, I feed Cheeto. Canine Craving comes in a value. Familiar with Canine Craving? Comes in a big old 5 pound, what do you call it? Like a tube?
A chub.
So I'm actually going there. So I will see you gang in Massapequa tomorrow afternoon, or maybe I'll go to Bohemia because I got like 3 meals left for Cheeto right now. So we gotta hook up. But my point is, historically people use other things. When we had Val, help me out, the doctor, the Irish doctor who wrote the book,
Dr. Connor Brady.
Dr. Connor Brady was on the show with Anya Tucker, who is Rob's wife, and Anya does so much around the nutrition and the health and the education, certainly for the staff of the canine shop. Man, I feel like I work at canine shop, but when you think of this stuff historically, Basil and Val and everybody else listening and paying attention, let me just grab that thing off the shelf. I shake the box. It sounds like it's a box of Cheerios and I'll just dump it in the bowl, or I'll open up a can. I'll leave out the names. It rhymes with Yelpo, but I'll open up the can with the can opener and just dump it. Like my wife, when I said we're feeding Cheetos going to eat raw food because it's what we do, right? And it's what I've learned. She was kind of like grossed out because that was the thought, not the cereal stuff, but the thought was like that old stuff in a can looked like slop, if we remember, So, and that's certainly not what I feed this dog. It's wonderful food. But I guess to the probiotic piece, can you speak a little bit without FDA or whatever? Let's leave everybody on the sidelines. But just talk about the gut health for both the cats and the dogs as a result of having all these probiotics, because we need that good bacteria and they need that good bacteria, right?
Look, I got to start off by saying what took so long in terms of getting product like this to market. And I'm going to sum it up very quickly. Yeah, there's always that, Valerie, but you also have, and this is just a general term. It's been a kibble and bits world for as long as we know.
Yeah.
We are right in front of the premiumization of the pet channel right now. Okay. I saw a Howard Schultz video come out today, and I'll send you both the link. It's him for 15-20 seconds talking about pet premiumization and how the parallels between human behavior and pet behavior are becoming very close. Okay. And I'll give you a very legitimate example.
Making coffee, Howard Schultz of Starbucks. So we're going to start doing.
Oh, absolutely. I'll send you the link. It's one of the best videos I've ever seen. Okay.
All right.
The parallels are so close that there are even individuals that are vegan preference that will feed their dog vegan just by way of their own habit.
Yeah.
We're not encouraging that type of behavior. However, if you do the research and something suggests for your specific dog, then do what you need to do. But I'll tell you, we believe in raw, fresh, frozen meat that comes from sustainable sources and farms, and then you incorporate the ingredients to support it. To answer your question on probiotics, I think I did a pretty good job of talking about encapsulation and how we do it. But not only is it the quantity of probiotics, it's the prebiotic load that you need in the product to feed those probiotics and get all the way to colon-rectal, because a lot of times probiotics won't make it to the gut and then out. Okay, and that's the biggest issue. So we work very hard with the combo ingredients to support that probiotic growth.
I want to just say that one of the most common things, now mind you, our specific location has only been open for almost 2 months, but we're new. But one of the most common situations that the pet parents are talking to us about is their dog's
Digestion.
diarrhea. Yeah. And their inability to absorb the food. Okay. So, I mean, this is really a major issue, and we're addressing it with, not only fresh food, which we recommend for all, but also always pre and probiotics. And sometimes it's more than just like goat's milk, which we love.
Right.
Sometimes if it's been, I had one customer, I just have to say this, and you can see this on our Google reviews. I mean, this review brought tears to my eyes, but her poor dog, Orion, had chronic diarrhea for 4 years. 4 years. And this dog is only 4 years old.
Oh, his whole life.
The whole life. Anyway, the one thing that they had never tried and were never recommended to try was a fresh, raw diet.
Right.
Long story short, she switched, gave it a chance, cold turkey, and it's been a month now, and this dog has perfect poops. I mean, it's unbelievable.
We're all about perfect poops, gang. This is your
We
profession.
are.
We just launched the poop campaign, and the reason why I was so adamant that we be very visual is there's no other way to put it.
Yeah.
If you want to see improvement, this is what it looks like before,
Yep.
this is what it looks like after.
Yep.
And this is why you feed the product the way that you do.
And I'm working on another dog right now. His name is Vegas, and he hasn't had as much of a history, but it's been months that several months that he's had diarrhea, and they ran all these tests. There's nothing wrong with him. He doesn't have anything wrong with his bloods, or they did an x-ray, nothing's there. So we have a real chance, and I'm looking for that other success story. But let me ask you a very specific question.
Sure.
On behalf of another pet parent. One of the questions that I got was, we see you have some new product out. We love it. We tried to order it. You're sold out. I'm like, oh no, but.
We're not, I have plenty. Yell at your distributor. We have plenty of product.
Oh, okay.
No,
So let me
yeah.
just say this one specific question. So you now have goat's milk that has other flavor. You have like
Yes.
a flavor line. Would you recommend for a dog that has a possible beginning of a UTI, urinary tract infection? Would you recommend the cranberry apple goat's milk for that?
Absolutely. And if you look at our FAQ sheets that should be up now on the site, you'll see that the apple cranberry is being touted not only for the probiotic benefits, but for the urinary tract support.
Great.
And again, just like everything I do, I don't just add a fractional amount of these ingredients. If I'm going to add pumpkin, it's the second ingredient. Okay.
Right.
So
Right.
when you open up any one of these, you're going to not only smell,
Mhm.
but you're going to realize that there's pumpkin, carrot, apple, and cranberry, and then the simply spinach.
Yes.
We just couldn't resist the obviously original line in 16, 32 ounce and 59 ounce bottles was so popular. We had to do this. And I
Yes.
thought let's add more value. And we have a very finicky Yorkie here. Sometimes this is all he'll eat. Okay.
Huh.
So now we're getting the vegetable component or the fruit component on
Yeah.
top of the milk. And then, but to be honest, you pour this on top of almost anything and it stimulates appetite immediately.
Oh, I believe it. And let me ask you, I see that there's a cat on this too. So these are also okay for cats.
For cat. Yeah. And what you will see on the next version of the packaging is both the Boss Dog and the Boss Cat Shield.
Got it.
Yep. So all of our, yeah.
I just want to ask you, is this because I mentioned that I'm going shopping tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're on the shelves in the canine shop right now, right?
Yep.
So let's talk about that, because as I go through the website, I'm not if I go shopping tomorrow, I'm not going to buy your product as his main meal. It seems like these are different, like that, those drinks right there, those goat milk drinks. I'm watching a video of it happening right now. It looks like somebody's pouring it on top of some different dry foods and stuff like that. So like when I go shopping tomorrow, let's like role play this. But even before we do that, I have to do one quick joke because I don't want this joke to get lost. Val, what was the name of that dog that you talked about? The new one?
Vegas.
Right. And hopefully if it eats the right food, what happens in Vegas won't stay in Vegas. Okay. Back to the main story. Meanwhile, back at the main story. So I'm going shopping tomorrow for my guy Cheeto. He's 13 and a half. 13 and a hook, we used to say
Yeah.
in a different part
13
of
and a half months.
No, he's 13 and a half pounds.
Oh, pounds. Okay. Yeah. I'm like, wait, he's not that old. Okay.
His birthday's December 28th. He'll be 7 months in
Okay.
4 days. So what do I want to do, Basil? Because I'm yes, we're role playing with me, but I want to understand it for other people. So they go, all right, I like what these guys are talking about. I want to think about my gut health for Fido or Betsy or Cheeto. Let's talk about that. What are we looking to do?
Keep in mind that this business only really launched in early 2019. Since then, we now have 13 product segments, 275 SKUs.
Wow.
You walk into a pet store, I'm the lifestyle solution for you. Here's what I mean by that. You need treats, we got them. You need supplements, we got them. You need full meals, and you don't have a lot of freezer space, get a freeze-dried meal for your dog or cat.
So what does that mean? I see them in the bag. So freeze
Yeah.
dry. So then what do you do with it? Am I adding water or anything or what?
Look, there's a lot of different ways to prepare it. If we're talking specifically freeze-dried, one, there's a feeding guideline on the back. So based on the size and weight of your animal and the level of activity, follow the AFCO guideline. Generally speaking, I use freeze-dried as a full meal system for my small to medium dogs, and I use it as a topper or a complement for my 165, 170-pound Ridgeback. Why? I would be out of house and home if I had to feed that guy every day freeze-dried. So, it depends on how you want to use it. It's a topper, it's a treat, it's a full meal, okay? On the frozen, same thing. The little guys, they'll go quarter, half a patty. I'm talking 2-3 pound Yorkie. The big guy, he'll do 2 patties, a little bit of freeze-dried. I may mix in a little bit of kibble, depending. It's very rare because I like them to do 100% raw. And then, I'll put some Pro Ball meatballs on top, a little bit of tripe treat, and then I'll drizzle on some goat milk.
It's just another thing. I got 2 sons, so I start bringing things in this house that are called Pro Balls. It's just going to forget about it. It's sort of a family show here, gang, but I know I have 2 sons, and I know what that nonsense is going to be. I'm going to share the screen real quick again. I've been sharing this on and off with people who are watching on Facebook or find us on YouTube and different things later on. But here's the feeding instructions, rather directions, right on your website. I mean, you break it down. This is, we do three things on this show. I'll do them in reverse. We advocate. We learn. That's totally not reverse. But the one in the middle is we educate. And that's what it is. We learn, we educate, we advocate. Because look, you'll see a lot of information here. We learned a lot with, I know Val is like so fired up about what they're doing down there, because I don't know, like Valerie and I know each other for a long time, gang. And to see her, like, what a perfect element where she can continue to do this networking, connecting, and educating people on how to take care of, Fluffy or Fido or Jovi or Cheeto, for that matter.
The best part is when you get the results and you hear, how much, and the dogs get so excited when it's mealtime. They're like, jumping off the walls. And I want to say, because I'm such a terrible salesperson, I really am. I'm dead serious right now. I'm not being like self-deprecating, but listen to this one. People love your products. I know this. We have what I like to call like a little sample bar. And we had a sample jar of the little ballies, right?
Oh, the Pro Ball. Yeah, the balls.
Yeah.
The balls.
So this woman comes in with her gorgeous, I love this dog so much. She's a bulldog named Ruxin. And I was like, oh, let's give Ruxin a couple of treats, right? She was like, absolutely. I gave it to him. He devoured it. And she was like, I'll take it. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. We don't have any right now.
God.
I know. But anyway,
Valerie, what we're using these for now is pill pockets.
Oh,
The
so
pill
smart.
pocket, you pop the pill in. Each meatball is 100 million probiotics.
That makes so much sense. Yeah, because hold on. Let me say this. That makes so much sense because obviously, like when we have to take medication or whatever, you're on antibiotics. They always say like eat some yogurt or something before you take your pill. But I also, getting back to how much people love your products, we also have to get to the really fun stuff, which is the ice cream, doggy ice cream.
The froyo, yeah.
Oh, these flavors. Let me just tell you what we're doing over here. People love the little cups of ice cream so much that we bought like a rolling cooler. And we're like wheeling it around because our store is in a unique location. We're surrounded by a bunch of other stores, a brewery, there's a meadery, For anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's like fermented honey, wine, whatever. Several restaurants, and people come with their dogs. There's outside picnic tables, and it's hot. It's summer. So we
Great.
decorated this cooler. We're rolling around. People love these cheddar and bacon. I mean, I don't want to steal your thunder. You could talk about it.
We need to get you the icicle tricycle. We have a custom bike.
Oh, Tommy just died. Look at him. He's like, me, pick me.
Hold on. And we have the icicle tricycle. It sounds like I might be in the store in the vicinity of Greenville because something's going on in September. So like I was going to ride the tricycle around. I got to be honest with you, Val. I'm getting a little bit of FOMO because I did talk to Rob Tucker about opening a store up here on Long Island, and the timing didn't work out, and a lot of things weren't right for me. But in listening to how fun this is for you and how much you have going on, and I mean, you don't notice about me, Baz, but now I just broke your name in half, but you don't notice about me. Like
My friends call me Baz.
there it is. See, I knew that. So my friends call me Tommy D, and so does the rest of the world. So please call me Tommy D. But I every so often, so my dad owns Ralph's Italian Ices in Huntington, here where we live. That's a big deal, right? So I go out and I scoop Italian Ices all the time for my nonprofit friends as a give back. And I also just started hooking up with this company where they have this plant-based protein for human people, right? And I've been doing some brand ambassador stuff with them. It's called Owen, Only What You Need. Anyway, I've been doing just some hustling with them. So, because I love to be out and meet people. So long short is I'm seeing myself like on this icicle tricycle riding. You saw it as soon as he said it. I mean, I'll dress up like a dog. You know, it's like for me, it's so fun. And
I pictured you differently. In my mind, I had this flash of you wearing kind of like all white, you know, with the typical like the ice cream, with a little white hat and a bell, and you need a bell.
There's a bell on it. There's already a bell. There's already a bell.
On.
Don't worry
Yes,
about it.
Tommy, you are missing out. I'm just letting you know.
well, you know what, Val? Maybe I'll buy a store up here in Long Island. All right.
Yay.
I mean, I think we've determined I'm
I
going to
want 1,000 locations all over the country. Let me tell you, literally, there's a guy, his name is Billy Bauer, and he is developing you're going to love this guy, Tommy. He's got a not-for-profit. It's called the Bonji Strong Foundation. He's developing a wellness center for canines with cancer.
Oh my
And
God.
it's all about preventing cancer and also treating cancer through nutrition. And he loves your products as well. And he said to me, you guys need to have 1,000 locations across the country.
The Bauer Foundation.
BAUNJI Strong Foundation.
Can you
And
make an introduction?
oh,
'cause
100%.
we have Boss Nation Cares that handles the charitable side, and we do donations.
Oh my God.
Frequently small, medium, large.
Thank you. Yes.
Make the connection. That's what happens here. That's what happens when you put a bunch of connectors in a room, whether it's a real room, a fake room, or a Zoom room. It doesn't matter. We make the world a better place because in numbers, by making the relationships, by making the connections, things are better off. Baz, I want to have you on my other show, Philanthropy and Focus, and talk about that foundation. And also, I found it. Is it Bonji Strong? So shout out to that group. I found them. I'll share it on Facebook, but this is a long title. Bonji, BAUNJI Strong Foundation Central Florida Technology. I don't know why that.
No, it's not Central Florida.
No,
No, sorry. I'll get you the right one. But I want to say this too. He has had several cases of dogs that he has rescued, and they've all had cancer, given a short time period to live. Right now, he has Bubba, who he found with the worst kind of sarcoma cancer in February, was given 90 days. Well, now we're past 90 days, and this dog looks amazing because he believes you're either feeding disease or you're starving it.
100%. Yeah, no doubt. You know, sugar. Look, I'm no oncologist, gang. You probably knew that already. But you know, cancer like sugar. Cancer like sugar. And I have I can't say that. FDA, whatever. I have no right to say that, but I just know stuff. I've studied and I've read these things. Val, I think I might have the right one. Look at the link in the chat because it seems.
I just texted it to you. Okay.
All right, but anyway, let's keep it moving.
Let's get to the fun. Let's get to the puppy ice cream. Tell us the flavors.
Well, listen, the Greek style frozen yogurt treat was our first innovation. It was actually how I came to market. Why is that? because I had 20 plus years of Greek yogurt for humans. And I thought, I had something that really would resonate extremely well. It's a great long treat, meaning you can give it to your pet and they can enjoy it for more than just a few seconds.
Yeah.
My little guys will, lick on it for, an hour. One quick point I want to make on treats and supplements, because Tommy D pulled up feeding guidelines. You need to understand, yes, you can over treat or over supplement, just like anything. I could eat too many apples and not feel well. Meal systems is where you need to get into weight and portioning, because it's important you get the right amount of vitamin and mineral content and protein content. But treats and supplements, I'll give my big guy 2 of the Froyos, a bunch of tripe treats, the Pro Bites, and no issues.
Yeah.
If anything, we talk about poop. I do that once a day. It's incredible the difference and you can only see it in the yard. Okay. You incorporate that treat with the goat milk and all of it, and now you've created a lifestyle where you're really focused on meat first concepts and really solidifying the digestive health loop that your pet needs to build that microbiome.
Yes. And I love it, by the way. I give my cell number out to everyone who I'm like, let me know how it goes, especially if they're new to the raw. And it's hilarious. Actually, I get poop pictures all the time. I wake up to poop pictures. I'm out to dinner. My birthday dinner, we were at Hall's Steakhouse. I just got my oysters and all of a sudden this poop picture pops up and they're like, look, it's less crumbly. I'm like, yay. But no, I love it.
There's a wrong time and place for it too.
Yeah. But you know what?
You phone at home sometimes. That's a good move. Maybe I don't want to see these pictures.
It doesn't bother me. I always say the proof is in the pooping. It really is. You know that when you get like that, the solid, it doesn't smell. My dog's poops don't smell. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's dramatic, and anytime you're converting to raw, do a gradual. I will typically go 80-20, 80 to your current food to 20 to the boss dog or boss cat, and then accelerate that every 4 to 5 days. 70-30, 60-40, 50-50 until your animal is full raw system.
That's what we had to do when we got Cheeto. So he was being fed regular old kibble and bless the folks who were taking care of him, right? It's all good. But because some people are just not in the know or whatever. So I had this big old plastic bag and my agenda was like, this is not going to happen very long, but we were told to it was probably Anya who told me this. Anya Tucker at Canine Shop was like, you just got to smooth into this, Tommy D, or you're going to be, going to have some challenges for Cheeto. So I think I went might have been like a 50-50 and then a little bit less, more of the, what do you guys call it? The chum?
You're weaning them off.
Right. As soon as I can get them off, I did, but I it's very interesting to me. And I'm learning this from you all because I'm I'm very staunch about this, the way we feed Cheeto. And I might've said it on the show a couple of weeks ago. My mother-in-law took Cheeto for us so we can go out of town. And she was like, she's like, Tommy D, so maybe I can make them some chicken like we used to make for Mickey. My old dog was Michelob Light, Mickey, back in the day when I was a drinker and my wife and I were kids. But remember we used to make chicken cutlets for Mickey? I go, no, we're good. I gave enough food. She's all right. What about if I do? No, I was like, cool, we're good. Actually, I gave you enough food. She's like, what if we do that? I go, no, we're good. Now I love my mother-in-law like my own mother. But here's the thing. When my kids went over there as kids, they were like, hey, grandma, is this cow's milk? This tastes like cow's milk. And she goes, well, yeah, it's cow's milk. We don't drink cow's milk. We drink almond milk. And that's 12 years ago. So, different strokes for different folks. But what I'm getting at is, what are you getting at, Tommy D? I don't know. Let's see. What I'm getting at is this. The bag of the freeze-dried stuff you're talking about may be easier, if you're on the road, if you're traveling, than having to take, I put all I cut it into 40, I've cut them to 0.4 of a pound. I can't believe how fast this dog eats the food. It's out of control, by the way. He's only this big and the patty's as big as him. But anyway, I cut it and I freeze them all in these little separate bags. And then I'm just thinking I'm going to go up to the Poconos or something. It might be easier to
freeze dry. Just take the freeze dry.
Take the freeze dry. Yeah.
And
I'm not going down though, Basil. I'm not going down in quality.
No, not at all. In fact, our frozen and freeze dried are the same exact formula.
Got it.
The only difference is the moisture retention that you get from the frozen versus the freeze dried as you extract the moisture.
Can I pick this stuff up tomorrow? Is it in the Canine shop on Long Island?
It should be.
All right. Robin
They
Onions.
all have a dedicated freezer, at least one. I don't know that our store is not as big as the store like Bohemia or Massapequa, but we have our own stand-up freezer. It has their brand on it, so it's easy to find. Yeah, you'll
All
find.
right. And I got to get a tricycle. So we're working on, actually, in fact, I actually won a tricycle from a nonprofit. That's a whole nother show. We'll talk about that.
Do you want what's never been done before, a second exclusive on the show?
Yes.
We're all about exclusive. Hold
Hey,
on.
get the music. Get the music.
Get your pom-poms. This just in.
But I'm going to lead into something because you got to build up to it, right? I can't just give it to you right away.
You know, all that stuff. And
Oh, we did a drum roll. All right, go ahead. We're waiting.
So we've talked a lot about our meals, our treats, our supplements.
Yep.
But in 2020, we launched Boss Tactical. Okay. And Boss Tactical was my way of saying, let's round out this lifestyle brand and give everybody what they need: pet gear, treats, supplements, all the way down the line. So we created Boss Tactical. If you find it on the website, you'll see what I mean. Ultra premium pet gear, heavy duty nylon. We also have poly webbing as well. It's like a very clean rubber in collars, leashes, and harnesses. Stuff you've never seen before: stainless steel D-rings, gunmetal steel, aviation aluminum double clips.
Wow.
If you got a medium to an extra large size dog, I'm talking 240-pound Mastiff, I have a product that will fit them and will also help you retain control.
Wow.
I got a 160-pound Ridgeback. When he decides he wants to go, you need something to pull him back.
I know someone who needs this. He's got a 75-pound pit mix and just, I don't know if he ever had training or not, but really does not walk on the leash well. And he'll drag my neighbor across the street if he picks up a scent.
yeah. You know, Val, I don't know if I told you this. This is long story short, there was a dog in my neighborhood, and he came after Cheeto one day, and I had to sort of separate them. Everybody's all good, and there's a backstory to it, but you know, you got to be careful about these types of things. You know, here's what I just want to call out to something you just said. You know, you said lifestyle brand. I wrote down earlier, you said lifestyle solutions. That's great branding, brother. I mean, I know where you're going with that. We talk about that in terms of humans, the ones who walk upright with the two legs. But but I think that's really important because you're sort of, in a lot of, which was the book I used to read, you're kind of building a bit of a moat, right? You're going to have this lifestyle brand. We're going to give you your supplementation. We're going to give you your food. And now we're going to outfit you, quote unquote, as well, right?
And not only are we giving you all the solutions you just mentioned, but we're doing it with a high level of innovation and science. And the one thing that I am not is me too. What I like to share with people is, because I've had experience in multiple industries, CPG, consumer products, for over 30 years, and then now pet, which I don't anticipate ever moving from. I love this industry.
Yeah.
It's challenges. You go to a human trade show, and you got 3,000 booths, okay, back in the old days. Every 500th to 1,000 booth is a competitor. In the pet game, every other booth is a competitor.
Really?
Okay. So I was adamant that we stand out, and I have an incredible team. The people that have been with me for over 20 years. So this is a group that I actually handpicked in 2019 that, I've just known forever, and they're exceptional. But our vision was, really to bring, like you said earlier, a lifestyle solution that was not me too, that was highly innovative, and that brought value to both the pet and the consumer.
Yeah, it reminds me of this book right here. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but Blue Ocean Strategies, man. If you're not familiar with this book,
write that one down.
Yeah. Basically, the concept here, it says how to create uncontested market space and make competition irrelevant. The idea is, the water. If you think of the ocean, the water filled with the chum and the blood and everything, that's the red waters, right? It's too much going on. People are fighting. We're battling it out. You say me too, right? I'm better. You're better, whatever. No, man. How about that serene blue ocean where there's, it's calm and I'm in my own lane and there's nobody here, right? Like That's what I'm hearing you say. Now, I just summarized that book. I think I'm going to write a couple books myself, but like, I think people use extra words when they write books. I think I'm going to write a pamphlet because I think you could summarize a book in 3 or 4 ideas and maybe a paragraph. But I would,
Oh my God. That
I was
reminds me of, I forgot who it was. There was a comedian or somebody like, and he was like, do you guys ever read the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill? And like half the audience is like, no. And he's like, well, you just did.
yeah,
So listen, I have to, I want to commend you on, I love innovation. I love people who strive to really separate themselves. And I feel like we're doing that too. But I'm just curious. I have to ask this question. As Tommy knows, I get like a million ideas a year or something ridiculous like that. And of course, you don't have the time and the money and the staff to pursue everything, right? But I do kind of have an idea that I think might be a good accessory to your business, if you will, or whatever. And I'm just curious, would you ever be interested in like maybe having a little talk about a collaborative effort?
You can call me anytime you want. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. And if we get there, it'll be because we both believe in the vision, right?
Yes, 100%.
No,
And I love this so much because again, like, you know, as a new small business owner, I've never owned a store before, you know, and when you see people's faces, like when I tell them how this store for us came to be and how it started with this animal podcast, right there, people are like, you have a podcast about animal lovers? And I go, yeah, we bring on all walks of life. Tommy knows, I mean, he's been doing it now for almost 2 years with me, but you know, we had on our first guest owns a pizzeria. I met him at a puppy mill protest. We had on a guest that's a lawyer. She does trust and estates, and she fostered over 80 cats during the first year of COVID and got them all adopted, cats and kittens. And we're bringing on legislators, elected officials, and all of these amazing people. But what it does, right, is it puts this stamp of authenticity for us. And talk about separating ourselves. Like, I don't know another store owner in the area, at least, that has an animal lovers podcast. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm excited.
No, you do it. It's an exceptional job. I'm thrilled that you're doing it. You know, Candace D'Angelo from Pet Boss Nation, the names are similar, completely different companies. She's doing it too. She's a great advocate for pets and retail. You know, and I think more of this just needs to happen.
Yeah.
I don't want to forget to give you your exclusive.
why are we waiting for it? Can I do the drums
Now
now?
you can do the drum roll. Yeah.
Second tease, man.
Yeah. So while we were on tactical, you know, the team came to me and they said, this tactical line is doing really well. We know it applies to medium to extra large size dogs, and the world is overwhelmed with what we call cheap nylon for pets. So I'm excited for the first time to say that we're working on a, let's call it an affiliate relationship with Mr. Rampage Jackson, the former fighter, current movie actor, entrepreneur, CEO. You can find him at Rampage for Real on Instagram. He's a great advocate of animals. He's, we believe, the perfect representation of Boss Tactical, and really translating strong and hardy concepts or pet gear. So you'll hear more about Rampage Jackson here in the next couple months, and especially as we lead up to Super Zoo, which is August 16th of this year.
Where's Super Zoo?
Vegas.
Las Vegas, baby.
Vegas. What happens there stays there unless you're a dog and you're trying to have a bowel movement.
That's right.
All right. Quentin Jackson is who we're talking about, right? Mixed martial artist, right?
Yep.
Professional wrestler, UFC guy, big dude, big smile on his face.
Big
I
personality.
give him, I hope he's smiling like that, because that's a big dude, and I wouldn't want him upset with me.
What?
I'm Tommy D. I'm a good dude, man. It's all good.
Are you gonna do toys or toys in the horizon?
Just as an extension, you know, there's a possibility, as long as I can do something that really maintains consistency with the segments. I won't just do a toy to do a toy. I've never launched a product or segment just because it's either we can make a difference in the segment or add value. That's really where we focus on any of our entries.
That's
Got
so
it.
important though, Val, right? You hear that though too? Let's underscore that because that's a big deal. It's not just like, hey man, I got this audience. Let's find another SKU that I could sell them just because they're going to buy it because it's got our name on it. No, what he's saying is it's got to add value. It's got to be different. It's got to be innovative. If it's not, you know, then you're just taking money off your clients. Then you're just trying to get dough out of your customers, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, you don't have to do it that way, right? I think that brand where you say, no, I want to be best of breed, or we're just not going to do that piece, right?
No, I mean, you're spot on. I mean, again, in an industry that's Me Too, if consumers are looking for Me Too concepts, there's plenty of them. If they want something that's going to make a difference and they're going to see the difference, then you choose Boss Dog or Boss Cat. But, you know, there are a lot of great brands out there. I'll be honest, when I got into the game, and I'm not going to mention them here, there were several brands that really inspired me and still do today. The frozen and fresh segment of raw food is growing so quickly that you're seeing multiple entrants. There's a few of them that are doing a really good job and, you know, some that are doing okay, but it's crowded, right? And there's only enough room for so much. And, you know, I think that's probably the biggest challenge to this particular business. You know, this is year 5 for us, but I'm treating it as year 1. I was couched for 2 years. Yeah. And
I'm going to quote you if you don't mind, because you just reminded me of something that I meant to read earlier, but this is a good timing. In an article, newswire.com, this is a great quote from Basel. He said, "The process is meant to be painful, especially if you're doing it right."
Correct. Yeah, there's nothing easy about what's happening. Most people, I think it probably wasn't Ma from Alibaba that said it, but something similar. If it takes 3 days to build a brand, if we were to scale it down into 3 days, the first day is extremely hard. The second day is incredibly hard. And I'll use Elon Musk reference. It's like looking into a dark abyss while you're chewing glass. And then the third day is the reward. Most people quit the second day.
Yeah. Right on.
Okay. And that is, and the reason why I've achieved some success is because, quite frankly, I'm very persistent. I get the right products, but most importantly, I have an incredible team behind me.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for that team, I wouldn't be doing this stuff, you know?
Yeah. Super important to have an A team. I feel great about the team we've built. Also, we're small, but you know, these are true animal lovers. They're well versed in nutrition and feeding raw. And one of them's even a fur photographer, and 2 of them are fear-free certified trainers as well. Like, they love dogs and cats, and they just want to help as many as possible.
I want to ask you a question, then we actually do have to bring the show to close. So here's my last question for you, Basel. And again, gang, if you're just checking in late, Basil's here, Boss Nation. And Basel, call out the website real quick, because now I got it on.
Either Boss Dog brand or Boss Cat brand. And if you don't have time for either of those, Boss Nation brands will get you there too.
Boss Nation brands. Here's my question. You know, when you think in terms of like a firm like yours, are you looking... Are you doing your own distribution? Like, if I have a retail store on Main Street and I sell products, do I deal directly with you? Do I have to deal with the distributor? You mentioned distributor earlier. So, like, who are you looking for? I'm a big connector. Valer's a big connector. So how do we?
No, it's actually absolutely great question. And I'm assuming we're kind of rounding out. I think it's a great question. I support brick and mortar, you know, and we got into the game. Quite frankly, it was about supporting retail, because it's not hard to move into mass channel. You know, every brand reaches what they call the end of their distribution white space. Okay. And at that point, that brand, if they want to grow, have to make some moves. COVID changed everything. Okay. In terms of what do you do, especially as a startup, when you've been benched, you can't get a distributor listing. You can't get a retail listing. You have to pivot. And I think, but you got to do it the right way, you know, and so we did. We moved into the omni channels. There is a .com presence. We're very cognizant of pricing and map control. So there isn't an imbalance in the industry. But if you ever hear us advocate the brands, you'll always hear us say brick and mortar first, support your local retailer. because there's no way that you're going to get the education by and large that you get from the gatekeepers, the staff members. When you walk in that store and you say, I have an aging dog, what do I do? Dog that has dental issues or digestive issues. That's where you get the guidance. And though, quite frankly, I don't think they can replace that online long-term. Or
You're
short
not
term.
texting someone your poop pictures on a Sunday night at 6 o'clock.
Right.
Everybody's got their interests, gang. And, some people, but it's critically important because when I hear that, I hear the word resonating with me as a partnership, where you look at your frontline people that are selling, whether it be Canine Shop or others that are really,
I call them the gatekeepers.
Gatekeepers. I love that. Yeah. Yeah. That's so great, man. It's really, really.
Every gatekeeper, we believe, requires what we call boss at your service. And so if there's ever a new store or a store that's brought on a new product, they have a conduit to the at your service team, and they know who those marketing people are. Plus they can get a hold of me, and we get them startup kits, coupons, POS, shelf talkers. And then even most recently, we're now putting 32-inch TVs in with our info blip, where me and Henry and Shay talk about digestive health. There's still a huge disconnect between the benefits that our products bring and what people have been feeding. And then people that are introduced to probiotics really need to understand the levels. Okay.
Yeah.
And so
I have one last question for
that's
you. How do I get my tricycle?
Okay, we'll set you a sales goal for fiscal 24. If you are on a run rate to hit it by the mid-year, I'll buy you a tricycle.
There it is, kids. There it is. That's
Deal.
cool. That's cool.
Deal. Shake on it.
They're right there. I didn't even have to go ask anyone for permission on that one. Isn't that nice?
Let's go, guy. He's got
I love goals. I write goals every day, every single day. 3 goals.
I don't know if you ever listened to Mad Money with Jim Cramer. Sell, 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 sell. That's what you do. No, you don't have to like him. It's just a thing.
No, I know. He reminds me of a chicken. Anyway, sorry. Gotta go.
We should feed him to a dog. Oh my God, Jim Cramer. I'm sorry. All right, look, I'm going to leave it. Go to Boss Dog Brands, Boss Cat Brands. Go to the Instagram. Look around. Don't forget, you heard it here first. Shout out to Rampage Jackson. Rampage, I look forward to meeting you at some point. Maybe at Super Zoo.
At Super Zoo, let me know and I'll get you a one-on-one meet and greet.
All right. Well, I got to figure out when is it? When is Super Zoo in Vegas?
He's at the booth the 16th and the 17th of August.
August 16th, 17th. That's coming up. That's in a couple weeks. All right. We're going to leave it right here. And as we do on every single program, every episode, I don't know what an episode is, but every episode of this program, we always close with the quote. The greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated. That's from Gandhi. Please take care of people, take good care of animals. Make it a great day, everybody. We'll see you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Basil.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you for the time.
So nice to meet you.